Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So this video is partly a warning, and I also just want to cover the new sets with Master Crafting that got released with Module 26. They're actually pretty good, but only for some certain classes. So first of all, you may have noticed in my video where I covered ways to make astral diamonds, I talked about the amulets. I said, and then the amulets that give strength, that's the spiked and the shroomwood, because currently the spiked was giving +6 strength, and it still is on live. It gives +6 strength. I had some people who have master crafting of Menzo Masterworking unlocked confirm it still shows it gives +6 strength. But with the next update, this is being changed to give +6 wisdom. This is pretty massive because people will buy this set thinking it'll be good for their physical damage dealer, rangers in particular. Then your barbarians and rogues could also make use of them, and they would buy the spiked for +6 strength, when in fact you should be buying the shroomwood one. I assume it was never intended the spiked had 6 strength, and it is currently still advertised as giving 6 strength, and it does give that. It's just they seem to intend to change it to give +6 wisdom instead. Having it give +6 wisdom, not a bad thing, but changing the existing sets that people may already have equipped and spent millions to obtain because these resources are damn expensive right now is gonna be shocking if you've already got it. And then they change the ability scores. 6 strength is a decent damage boost, and that's the main reason why you buy it. So yeah, that is the warning. That particular amulet is having its stats changed with the next update. Whether they'll be following through with that or not, we shall see. But be aware, do not buy it right now. And if you're a crafter, I don't recommend crafting it until the devs give some news on this. So now I want to cover the sets. Should you actually be looking to obtain one for yourself? For whom are they actually going to be useful for? And are they better than some other options you could already obtain in the game? Let's have a look. Well, you may have seen my wizard build, and I recommend using this set. And the main reason is because the favorable ability scores. There's not many sets out there that have the ability scores you want. The neck, you can choose the scintillating one to give you 6 intelligence. The waist, you can choose the one that would give 3 intelligence and 3 charisma. In particular, it's the scintillating sash. And you can check the other ones. You have the shroomwood amulet giving 6 strength, with then the shroomwood sash giving 3 strength and 3 dex, favorable for a physical damage dealer. And then with the change to the spiked, you have the spiked amulet giving 6 wisdom, currently advertised falsely giving 6 strength, and then the spiked sash giving 3 dex and 3 charisma. That's somewhat favorable to a healer to use it for those ability scores. And finally then the Garistro skin giving 6 constitution, and the Dark Lake sash giving also 6 constitution. Pretty massive for a tank who wants to be stacking hit points. Maybe a barbarian where they have other powers they could also use to stack hit points and end up with like 3 million, a ridiculous amount with all favorable procs. So there's a set for everybody. Magical damage dealers, physical damage dealers, healers, and tanks. But let's discuss the bonus. Who would it actually best fit? Well, you can see when you do combine a bonus, and it actually doesn't matter which ones you combine. You can see it can be the +1 variants or the normal variants of any of them. Any of the necks can fit with any of the waists. So you can mix and match at your pleasure. I really love the flexibility of that. But the bonus you obtain here is Speedy Alacrity. Doesn't matter, again, which you mix and match, they'll all give that Speedy Alacrity. So whenever you use an encounter power, you're granted 2.5% accuracy and 5% recharge speed for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. That's pretty big. That's a maximum of 7.5% accuracy and 15% recharge speed. allowing you to cool down those encounter powers a little bit faster. And that is why I recommended this set for a wizard, and I still do, because you have freaking 4 encounter powers. If you space them out just a little, you can sustain that 15% recharge speed and 7.5% accuracy for the entire time. Even if you go switch over to Arcanist, you can even do better with having very short cooldown encounter power like Disintegrate to throw into the mix. So combining that with then the favorable ability scores, look at that, 38 intelligence. It's like nuts amounts. You're getting like 9.5% magical damage boost. That affects like all your damage. And you can compare this set to, let's say, the recent release of the Amulet set, and you will see that, yes, the Amulet set is great, but if you can have somebody else using this to increase your damage, because it'll increase the entire party's damage, like a healer or a tank, that would be ideal. Then you could run this as a personal set. And from there, there's not a lot of great options, especially for a wizard. You would just be running like the Mythalar set, which results in very small bonus. You just use it for the intelligence on it anyway. So with saying it's good on a wizard, what other classes might it be good on? Well, for the magical damage dealers, definitely a Warlock. Absolutely, you're spamming out encounters. Easy to maintain that. However, you will have to still look at the raw damage you're gaining through the Mythalar set on a Warlock. So don't quote me on how good it will be there. I know it will be good because the ability scores, but Mythalar could pull ahead with maybe 1 or 2% extra damage just through the raw proc rate that you get of raw pressure. Like on a rogue in particular, you can end up with like 5% of your damage coming from raw pressure, that being the Mythalar set. And with Warlocks being able to spam encounters already, recharge speed not being so beneficial, I'm not 100% sure whether it's actually going to be that useful for a Warlock. For a Cleric DPS, these sets, nah. You'll be better off with your music box set with your inherent danger, getting a ton of damage through that. Stacking all that burst damage whenever you use your daily power. For a Bard, it's very good, but you might want to consider switching to Strength on a Bard DPS, as most of the DPS Bards will use Tailwind Mambo to have like that ranged at will during boss fights if they can't be in melee and still be able to then generate some action points and deal a bit of damage. And with a Bard DPS being able to spam encounters, absolutely this is really good. Same for a Ranger DPS. This set will probably be one of the best, competing with maybe the music box set. Again, it's giving all that accuracy plus the recharge speed. A Barbarian might not get so much out of this. You might still be better as a Barbarian to run your Demon Lord set with the 5% extra damage along with the extra strength. On a Rogue, I'm not so sure. Again, with Mythalar dealing so much damage, you'd be better off with Mythalar, I believe, than this set. Or again, even just the Amulet set on a Rogue and a Barbarian will go very well. And ultimately, your fighter DPS, same situation as the Barbarian. You do have long cooldowns. You could make use of it, but you're not going to have 100% uptime. So again, like the Barbarian, you might still be better off staying with the Demon Lord set. But you could stack that accuracy for your rotation, getting it with like your mount power, the maximum stacks, and then have that cooldown lasting 5 seconds, helping get those encounter powers back quicker. And just again, the raw ability scores. As for healers and tanks, I don't believe these sets are all too useful, because you're going to be better off using a set that's supporting the team. Like the Vistani set, like the new Amulet set, or just, running the older Apocalypse set on your healer. Vistani suits those healers which have slow attacks, the Bard and the Paladin, and then Apocalypse or Amulet suits your Warlock and your Cleric, who have much faster hits and can more readily sustain that debuff and increase to the team. For tanks, Amulet set will be very useful. Vistani, not too great. They can't really proc that reliably because you have to limit yourself to only using an AoE power once every 5 seconds to maintain the bonus. That's why slow attacking healers are good with that. So I don't really see healers and tanks making much use of these. So again, mainly it will be the classes who can spam out encounters a lot that will want these sets. And I'll cover in my builds whether that set is viable for you or not. Rogue build video will be pushed back tomorrow. I still wanted to do some more optimizing on it, and that's what I've been doing the past few hours until I ran into this issue of like, what? Why was that spiked amulet not giving strength anymore like it did? That's why I had it equipped on my rogue. And now it's been changed to give wisdom. So just be aware of that. And wait to see what the devs are going to do. Are they going to leave it on wisdom? Has anybody bought this? Is there going to be any buyer's remorse? And if some people have bought it and crafted it, will they get compensation with being able to switch it with the Shroomwood one? Or are the devs just going to leave this giving strength instead of wisdom? But alas, I recommend waiting to get more further news from the devs and see what happens with, let's say, the patch notes next week. Special thank you to all these channel members for their added support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.